In this video, I'll be sharing the full process of sculpting, painting, and firing this ceramic sculpture. Sculpted from a 25-pound solid block of clay, I'm hollowing it out first by cutting it into manageable pieces, and then I carve out the entire sculpture with a loop tool. Reassembling it by scoring, painting on slip, and reinforcing the seam with the coil. Once the sculpture is all put back together, I'll go in and add additional details and carving. I'm braiding clay coils that will be sculpted into hair. With my nifty handmade tool, I'm measuring out the placement of the windows in a Fibonacci sequence going vertically along the figure, and the placement of the 13 windows around the body to signify the 13 phases of the moon that occur each solar cycle and align with women's natural cycles. In placing the temple walls on the head, I carved 4 arches to represent the 4 directions. Incorporating sacred geometry into my piece has been a meditative practice that I like to incorporate into my work. I'm adding the roof structure to the temple walls. Once the sculpture dried a bit more, I went along and carved the details around the window arches. The sculpture dried for well over a month before I put it in the kiln to be bisqued. I placed it in the electric kiln after loading some of the other pottery just to be safe and not knock anything over. When firing a bisque with sculptures, I preheat the kiln for at least 8 hours and let it candle. Everything survived the bisque firing, and I'm so happy and ready to paint iron oxide onto the piece. Iron oxide is a chemical compound of iron and oxygen. Rust is the best known iron oxide. The iron oxide I'm using I purchased from a ceramic supply store and mixed it with water. I like to generously apply the oxide with a thick paintbrush to ensure that I get into all the details. The process of painting iron oxide is my favorite phase of the glazing process. I love to use oxides to paint my sculptural work in order to enhance the detail rather than lose it under some glaze. Glazes are also beautiful on sculptures, but in this instance, I wanted to accentuate the natural clay body. Iron is one of the 7 metals in alchemy and is known as the metal of Mars and is considered masculine. It has been a symbol of strength, determination, promoting energy and willpower. Oxide brings life to my work by enhancing the details with its rich color. I was sure to get into the windows and even make those spaces darker. I'm using a sponge to wipe away the oxide. The goal is to have the oxide stay in the carved details and stain the other areas. That way, I'm creating more visual depth. Once all painted, I fired it in my electric kiln at cone 6, or 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. I love how this clay body looks with the iron oxide, and I'm so happy with the result. Like, Subscribe, comment, and share with a friend if you like this kind of content. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful, wonderful